This is question number 25 on the higher June 2013 calculator paper. This question says, solve the simultaneous equations x squared plus y squared is equal to 9, x plus y is equal to 2. Give the answer correct to 2 decimal places. Now, because it said that last bit, what that is telling me is that this is maybe a bit of a special question, because if it's 2 decimal places, I might need to use the quadratic formula and to think about that. And the reason I know that is because this first equation is a quadratic. It has x squared and y squared in it. So I'm going to name the equations, equation 1 and equation 2. I'm going to rearrange equation 2 to make y the subject of the formula. So what I'm going to do is say y is equal to, and if I take that x across the other side, I'll get 2 minus x. And what I'm going to do, this is a standard method for solving these, I'm going to replace y in equation 1 with, so in equation 1 I have x squared plus y squared is equal to 9. I'm going to replace y with 2 minus x. So I'll get x squared plus 2 minus x. That's what I replaced the y with. Remember, it's y squared, so it's going to be 2 minus x all squared, and that's equal to 9. Now I need to tidy that up, bring everything over to one side and make it look like a quadratic that I could solve. So what is that going to look like? I've got x squared plus, and when I expand this, multiply out, that is, you could go off to one side and do this. So you have 2 minus x times 2 minus x. So 2 times 2 is 4. Minus x times minus x is plus x squared. And in the middle, I'm going to have minus 2x and minus 2x, which is minus 4x. So that's what that works out to be. I will get plus 4 minus 4x plus x squared is equal to 9. Now let's tidy all of this up. X squared add x squared is 2x squared minus 4x. And if I bring that 9 across to the left hand side, it becomes minus 9. Minus 9 plus 4 is minus 5. Now, I'm pretty sure to solve this, I'll need to use the quadratic formula. And if I go to the front of the exam booklet, on the formula page, there is the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is provided. You need to make sure you know where it is and how to use it. And this is the quadratic equation. Okay? In this case, a, b, and c. A is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant term. And you're going to substitute them into that formula. So that's what I'm going to use next. So in this case here, a is 2, b is minus 4, and c is minus 5. And the quadratic formula is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Putting that in there, I'll get x is equal to minus b, so that's minus, and b is minus 4. Now wherever there's anything that's negative, I'm going to put it into brackets, as I've done there. Plus or minus the square root of b squared, now b is minus 4, so again in brackets, squared, minus 4a, which is 2, and c, which is minus 5. I always put these in brackets here, all over 2a, so 2 times 2. What does that work out to? Well, minus minus 4 is just 4, plus or minus the square root of, and minus 4 squared is positive 16, minus 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 5 is 40, and that's going to be minus 5, so that's minus 40. But don't forget that minus over there. A minus and a minus makes a plus, so it's plus 40 in there. And that's all over 4. Now that last bit was fiddly. Make sure you look at it again, you follow it, and you're okay with how you work this out. You could use your calculator, and your calculator may well be helpful in getting you a positive answer for that. Tidy this up one last time. I'll get 4 plus or minus the square root of 56 all over 4. I'm going to plug that into my calculator to get my two values of x. X is equal to, and if I do this, I'm going to use that fractions one. You don't have to. You can actually use brackets and work it out, but I'm just going to be a bit careful here. Square root of 56, and then 4 underneath there. So that's, I'm going to do plus or minus, so that's the positive one. And my answer to that is going to be x is equal to 2.8708. They want me to give the answer to 2 decimal places, so my answer there is going to be 2.87. And if I go back through that and change the plus to a minus, that's going to be the other one. So remember, it's plus or minus. So I've done the plus, then now the minus. That gives me an answer of minus 0.8708 ... And again, to 2 decimal places, that's going to be minus 0.87. Now remember, these are just our x values. This is not the final answer, right? I now need to work out the y values. But remember, I did this up here. I said that y was equal to 2 minus x. So y, I'll put an arrow across there, y is going to be equal to 2 minus 2.87. And that's going to be equal to minus 0.87. For this one, y is equal to 2 minus 0.87. And you could do that on your calculator if that's difficult, but at this stage you should know a minus and a minus make a plus. So 2.87 is going to be my result. So when x is 2.87, y is minus 0.87. When x is minus 0.87, y is 2.87. That's what I need to write in the answer space. And there's 6 marks for this. It's a question that carries quite a few marks. So this is what I'm going to write. So when x is 2.87, y is minus 0.87. When x is minus 0.87, y is 2.87. And that is my final result. Okay, this is a pretty straightforward question. You should be able to do it pretty straightforwardly and get near enough full marks in it. It's quite a lot of marks, 6 marks, and if you're aiming for an A star, this should be one that you definitely get and are able to get full marks on.